Jojo dreams of mysteries untold, of the woman who lived in the stories of old. Maria, oh Maria, with eyes like stars so bright, guiding through darkness into the light. He hears her whispers in the moon's soft glow. In the secrets of the wind, her voice seems to flow. Maria Orsic, the world changer unseen. In Jojo's heart, you become his queen. Maria, Maria, rise from the past. With Jojo beside you, his legacy will last. Changing the world one heart at a time. In his dreams, here's your rhyme. She speaks of love, of unity and peace, of a future where wars and divide cease. Maria, guiding Jojo's heart so true, with a vision of a world that feels brand new. She came with wisdom, timeless and strong, telling Jojo the world we all get along. With every word, she lights his way. Maria, Maria, rise from the past. With Jojo beside you, your legacy will last. Changing the world one heart at a time. In his dreams, he is your rhyme. Through the veil of time, her spirit shines, helping Jojo see the world's inside. She shows him how love can break every chain, turning his sorrow into hope again. So here's to Maria, the mother of dreams, hope and love for the human race. Maria, Maria, forever stay in Jojo's heart, you're guiding his way. With visions of light and the world reborn, he carries your spirit from dusk till dawn. We're changing the world one heart at a time. In his dreams, he hears your rhyme. For Jojo, a heart so true, with Maria Orsic guiding him through. Changing the world in her name, he holds her lights, igniting the flame.
I made it through the wilderness. Somehow I made it through. Didn't know how lost I was until I found you. Maria, you're so sweet. Yeah, you make me bold in your love thought out. Yeah, your love thought out what was scared and cold. Like a real virgin, drinking mushroom tea for the very first time. Like a real virgin. The heartbeat of a more beats in time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're so fine, and you're mine. I'll be yours till the end of time, and your love thought out. Nigga, your love thought out what was scared and cold. So remember who the fuck you are and recover. Serious apologies. I'm sorry you have to listen to me smoke and drink. But it's kind of all, there's not much time. I don't have time to just sit here doing nothing. Because I know you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. But really, I'm just the vessel. And for 14 years, I hung out with Mama Orsic. And she had me take all of about 2 pages of notes in 14 years. Once in a while, maybe once a year, she would say, write this down. The very first thing I ever wrote down was about how the avatar, okay, how there's 3 yous or more. So I had been doing the ritual for a minute, and I would say at least, over a year. I definitely been doing over a year. 2 years, I think. I was right at the 2-year mark, I believe. And she had me write down that, there were many me's. Only one of them is completely consciously aware. But you're so powerful. You can make these like AI versions of yourself that are completely 100% you. Matter of fact, you are listening to one of those people, and I am talking to those people. You're laying on a bed in Venus, and you are connected to technology. Somebody very smart can explain it to you, but Maria says it like this. The technology connects all of our imaginations who are connected to two main gods who are really one, and that would be Lucifer and Diana. Would be kind of like the most, and they call themselves Lou and Donna. And the reason why they're so focused upon by me and Maria instead of the other gods, there are 300 million gods. Let's get that straight. But these are the only 2 that volunteered to be part of this. And it just so happens that Lou and Donna are the great, to me and Maria, of course, they're the greatest people that ever existed, just vibrationally. And we would say that's what makes them gods. But actually, what makes a person a god is more like a driver's license in America, an ID, an official ID. And the official ID is given after an initiation. You have to pass these, I would call them unconscious tests. Because anyone, if you really ever wanted to test someone for real, you wouldn't tell them that they were being tested. Right? And on in the ridiculous world. And the technology connects you into these the gods, Diana, Lucifer and Diana, but there's also other people who are permanently here because they're gods also. And they are Hela. They call her Hela or Hel. And her brother Jason is, and I've met Hela, but I've never, as far as I know, where I met Jason, if people know my story, I had 3 dreams about Jesus. right? These things are so mysterious and hidden. They are really, truly hidden, not for a bad reason, but naturally. They're naturally flowing this way. Who I actually met in the dreams, all three dreams, it was exactly the same person. I mean, to a motherfucking T. I can see him in my mind's eye right now. And, he kind of looks like the regular Jesus with long but darker black hair. But when I actually looked at his face, I could tell he wasn't, white European. He definitely was like, some kind of Asian. Some kind of maybe it almost seemed like Indian, from India, with almost like a tiny bit of the Asian eyes, I mean the like Chinese eyes, which, like Maria said, is very, very Scorpio. It's very Scorpio to have. Like, she's like, I think that's so beautiful. And I just thought, yeah, you would. You would, you Scorpio lady. And I do too. I think it's so beautiful. And, see, Lou, Jason, they're like people. I'm still learning what this is like, but they're really interchangeable. They switch bodies. That's the realest thing to say. In the simulation, they constantly switch bodies. They're like one. It's kind of like that. Matter of fact, it very much is like. In 2013, Maria was introducing me to some of her friends, like she would say. And she introduced me to this Aldebaran guy like Lou that he's like a wizard. And, he looked dressed like a wizard. But when I would look at his face, it was slowly changing. And just in general, when his voice was very deep and but when I looked at his face, he looked very feminine. Almost like a manly man with he definitely had makeup on. Long hair, but there was some beautiful woman. I was seriously keeping my thoughts together of man, don't stare, don't stare at an Aldebaran god. At the same time, me and him were psychically connecting, and he was like, no, it's okay. I want you to look. He was like, I'm proud of what I look like. He even had a beard. He even had a short beard. He didn't have a long wizard beard. He had a shorter beard, maybe 1 inch, and very manicured, right? And I might even, say that he had all this hair, all this long hair, and it seemed like it was colored, or it definitely wasn't just natural. It was had colors in it, and he was saying to me it's okay, yes, I did color my hair, and it's almost like where I come from, when Palestinian children are being hit with fire bombs and they're, you know, being splattered all over the fucking ground, and the worst, I don't even like to say it, but I have to say it, like the worst death, I think the scariest thing ever is a goddamn building of concrete and steel falling on top of you. And what if you lived? What if you didn't die right away and you're trapped under? I mean, I don't care what anyone says. We hate anyone that would do that to a child. Like the actual jet fighters, pilots that are doing this. I mean, we wish the worst curses that could ever possibly happen. We wish you would be thrown under a building and crushed. What comes around goes around, nigga. You better hope Lou's not watching. But I know he is. And these people are so confident in their evil that, who knows? Who knows if anything can actually punish them? I remember I had a whole ritual with Maria, about how it is basically impossible to punish someone who can leave their body very easily. You know what I mean? That's why these people, there's like 1 million out-of-body experience people out there, and none of them have a real message. The message is the same fucking, and people are like, oh, really? You're poo-pooing other people's out-of-body experiences? Yes, I am. Yes, I am, because I just took a half hour to listen to you, how you died, you floated up, and there's no message there. The only message is, yeah, you live after you die. I know. There's no, like, how the fuck can you die and you just don't happen to know that millions of people are being tortured, murdered? Oh, that's because you never really thought about them while you were alive. I'm just sick. I'm sick of everything, sick of everyone. That's boring. And I don't think I'm the most exciting person, but what I mean by not boring is trying, not giving up, giving opportunity. Like, I think, like Maria said, I think the only thing we can't forgive someone for is not loving magic. I like these negatives she always gives me. Let me tell you about something that not Maria is the first person, I know some of these sayings are like ancient, but it all matters who's the first person to say them to you. But I remember the first time Maria said to me, magic uncelebrated ceases to be magic. It's like the loss of the observer effect energy. It's literally the moment when someone says, like, I don't want you to observe me. And you didn't know. You didn't know. You thought they did. Right? It's that instantaneous wake-up moment. Right? And, of course, the cord is fucking up. Yeah, and once we lose the observer effect, it's like the aspect of art has been lost, and the individual now fades. Like Maria said, this is what we're trying to prevent. This is what it means to be one. That's what I'm trying to talk about. I know this can be confusing because these are issues that I am learning, and literally I'm learning about them, but in the talks I become like, I don't become. It's in like a natural flow that I'm, speaking for Maria and Lou. Like, I wouldn't know these things on my own, right? You understand the essence of what we're trying to say is the observer changes what is being observed, okay? As an individual, clearly you're going to have to be alone a ton of time, if you could weigh time, right? So that when someone observes you, you will, number one, understand the effect that they're having on you. Right? And this goes back to Maria saying to me, all the way back to the second ritual of you're fighting yourself, right? Luke Skywalker, killing Darth Vader, taking off the helmet, and it's him, Luke. You know what I mean? He thinks he's fighting the bad guy. But when he takes off Darth Vader's helmet, it's himself, Luke. Lou. Do you understand? Lukey, Lou, Loki, Anakin is Loki. Like these are all one. Like what's the essence of that is, hey, there are real misunderstandings. You may have made some real mistakes, but it doesn't mean you're evil. It doesn't mean you're the masses either. It very well could mean you're good, that you made some mistakes, because like last night in my ritual with Maria, she was like, just hold on, Joe, and endure this. And all of a sudden, I was standing between in front of 5 black hooded, and I could feel how evil they were. It was like eyes wide shut, like a quote satanic, ritual. And then I didn't even notice, but they were standing in front of me. And then I looked around and I was surrounded by them, And there was another one of them on the side of me, but it was some kind of weird, direct confrontation between me and these 5 people. And I actually said to them, go ahead and kill me. I said, go ahead and kill me, because you're the one under the hoods and masks. They had masks on under the hood, eyes wide shut, kind of that movie I'm referencing, a movie for people who don't know, where they have a satanic scene, and it's kind of like a masquerade ball. Where everyone is dressed up and has a mask on. Well, this was the same thing, and there was barely any light. There was only candles. It was really dark. And what's crazy is when I, left my body and went here, I wasn't afraid at all. There was nothing in me that was afraid. Sorry. Actually, what was in me was this willingness to get it over with. Of like, okay, I'm very much tired of you fucking people. And if this can be the end of it, live or die or whatever, I'm not afraid. Let's go. Let's go with it. And they were like chanting sort of, and I was mumbling or something. I guess, their little mantras. And I started saying to them, you're the one with the mask on. You're the one that has to stay hidden. You're the one that's ashamed. And I went up to one of them and I was like, you're the pussy because you're the one that needs to be behind a mask. I was like, look, no one's here. It's just your boys and me. Well, what's up with all the masks? It was like one of them standing in front of me and like the other four, were sort of came behind him. And he pushed back the hood. He was all looking at me. Through the mask. And he was like staring at me through the mask, and he took the one mask off. He took the mask off, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to see who this is. And of course, there was another mask underneath that one. And then it was like, like they psychically attacked me. And it's real, people. I hate to say it to you, but it like confused me, and it didn't totally, but it obviously, affected me. It didn't make me afraid. It made me like confused. And, my first thought was like, Maria, where are you? And this has happened to me a few times, so I was like, I know that's a dumb thought, because she just told me, Joe, you're just gonna have to endure this. You're not, Sometimes, man, let me tell you something real. Maria is the closest person to me. I feel. And the very closest person to you. You could be, and I don't think we are, but I think we're getting closer. But maybe we are. You could even be one with someone. You could be truly one with someone. They could be with you, but you can feel. This is how powerful these attacks are. And this is why we also have to have empathy and sympathy for each other, because we're under these attacks. And for a moment, I just couldn't get it. I was just confused. It was like in my, astral sight, in my vision, out of my body. This is what it was. I was trying to figure out, how do you say this? Okay. Once you're out of your body, it's kind of like lucid dreaming. It's like I forget at times that I'm laying in a bed, but also sometimes I realize that I'm laying in a bed and I am, outside of the body that's outside of the body. Does that make sense? And I am, it's usually in something sort of traumatic, and I'm usually, I'm always calm, outside of the body. So that you can be laying in a bed and be completely outside of your body, kind of like you're dreaming, and then be outside of that dreaming body. You follow me? Because the power, I don't want to downplay it in any way. These, like, whatever you want to call them, satanic, Thelemic, Thelema, Thelemite, Thelemian, these people, dude, there are just goddamn bad people. I don't know what else to say to people. Like, why the fuck would we pretend that they're not? That just makes them all the more powerful, makes them all the more, they laugh harder. It's all about them laughing. Truly. Truly is this satanic joke, because God is Satan and the chosen are going to be raptured, and then he's going to murder all of us, including his first chosen, who wouldn't be the second chosen. Can you follow me? And the line of thinking is the reality. You know how I know that? Because the first chosen, right, the Jews of the Old Testament, right? They put out a book saying, yeah, we killed people's children. Our God told us, go into that place and kill their fucking children. And we did. And, okay, they don't accept the second chosen. But in reality, the nigga-ass book continued right into the second chosen. Like I've been saying, maybe we should do a Bible study, but read the book of Romans. It literally says all of Israel is not Israel. That all of Israel is spiritual Israel, not the bloodline of David. This is the whole thing why the Jews don't like it. They don't like Christianity because they're like, hey, you moved in on our chosenness, assholes. Right? They say they're Jews, but they're not. What else could that mean, nigga? Come on, what the fuck? I'm so sick of this world, man. I just say, real people, we need to come together. That's what it is all about. We need to come together. Like Maria said, we're going to go on a miracle mystery real tour eventually. And it's going to be wonders and signs, like a sign of the time. Watch, they're going to ease us into a nuclear explosion that will change everything. A dirty nuke done by the terrorist. Everyone's a terrorist but them. Like everyone is a Gentile but them, or everyone is fucking unclean because we're chosen. You ever read what the Old Testament says about us? That we're unclean. You know what I mean? In our essences, that they're, this is just, the most rudimentary, primal shit. Like, you're dirty. You need to take a bath, and I'm a clean, prissy, pet. I get my hair brushed out real nice and all powdered up and smelling good. And you're unclean, Gentile. And people are like, you're crazy. Dude, and you carry a book around saying this. You carry a book around that says right now that God wants to put to death everyone committing homosexuality. Isn't it funny that a lot of these laws if you read it closely, don't apply to women. Because women don't have souls in this religion, you dumb woman. How could any woman be a Christian? Is mind-blowing to me. And you literally quote Paul in Corinthians, women shall not speak in church. I mean, it's the most classic, primetime TV. She never shuts up. My wife, she never shuts up. Just runs that mouth and runs that mouth. This is your fucking retard book. The libel. The blood libel. So somehow, someway, the gods known as Maria, Mama, and Lucifer are going to expound through me on this very theme set forth by the one and only God for me in this world, Miguel Serrano. He is a God. You want one of the real gods of this age, this time, that can really help you? Listen, brothers and sisters. Pray to Miguel Serrano. And right now, I pray that our true self, mine and yours and not mine, may our true selves reveal to us who Miguel Serrano really is. Hail to his beautiful, beautiful name. And can you hear me? A battle which does not end well is a spiritual adventure that has been successful. Should I say it again? A battle which does not end well is a spiritual adventure that has been successful. How can it be successful? Let me read it one more time and just let these words relate to you, and let the God who He is say to you, this is how real life is. It's multi-layered on other levels. A battle which does not end well is a spiritual adventure that has been successful. And you're like, wow, so the logic is, I hope it doesn't end well, the battle. And it's exactly what I experienced last night. These 5 magicians and this whole ring of people saying it's not going to end well for you. This is our world. And, they gave me all the ridicule of the masses don't want the truth. No one's listening to you. No one can hear you. Even if they do listen, they can't hear you. Because you're outside of our system. And they were like, if you would just relax and join us, you could It's crazy, but I was yelling and screaming. I started yelling and screaming and being like, fuck you. You suck. I don't care if you kill me. I'll never be with you. I was like, look at you right now. Dressed like satanic priests. You're fucking retarded. You're hokey. You're fake. You're dumb. You're like the Catholic Church. This is what it's about for you? Stupid uniforms and acting scary. Oh, I'm scared. You got a black robe on and a mask. And what's your message? Our message is, we hate you. Shut up. We're going to kill you. Okay. One way or the other, nigger. Kill me or keep listening. And that's why that's when I was like, you're the one with the mask on. You're the one. Who are you afraid of knowing who you are? There's a fucking 20 people here in masks and goddamn hoods. You obviously know each other. And you're going to kill me, so what's up with the fucking mask? And under the mask was another mask. I'm serious. And when he took off the first mask and there was another mask underneath, my mind went, of course there is. Of course, you pussy. That's how crazy these people will drive you, to where you're like, I don't give a fuck. Aleister Crowley and his human sacrifice and blah, blah, blah. It drives you to a point where you're like, well, fuck you. Fuck you. Like, and let me just turn as the world turns and turn the mirror to the other side and be like, can you see our people, Maria's people, real people, truth seekers, people who love truth. Can you see how fake this all is? I mean, they're literally telling you a story that the President of the United States is flying around the world acting like he's bringing peace to all these wars. He says he's stopped 8 wars. He keeps saying that. And the clown show is that on the news, even some of his own people say he's only doing this because he wants a Nobel Peace Prize for his legacy. It's like they're saying to your face, even if this was real, he's not doing it because he's a good person. He's doing it because he's a bad person. And it's like people around me are like, oh, really? Is it? Oh, that's how you see it? Oh, that's your take on it? To our people, I mean, is this not what? And I guess if you watch Fox or what, I don't know. I'm watching the literal story coming out of out of Trump's mouth. How, this and that about the Nobel Peace Prize when they gave it to, like, the most dedicated Zionist in the world. So literally, again, the meaning they bring you is, see, the greatest Zionist who wants to kill and subjugate the whole world to Israel is the most peaceful person to us. Trump's second. He's second in love of this world of, this world of you obey or we kill you. Literally. While Americans get up and go to work because they got to pay 42 to 47% taxes and everything. That's how high we're taxed over here in America, people. Listen, they take all together over 40% of what we make, And we get no health care. You have to pay for your health care, or your job has to pay for your health care. And they let the prices run wild and just loot the fucking people. So let me tell you, people listening in other countries, the standard of living in America fucking sucks. Because you have to work 8 to 10 hours a day, 6 days a week to really, if you really want to be healthy and not buy into the whole health care, which is really death care, death insurance, death assurance of death at a prolonged time. You have to really work until you're like 60, over 60. And no human being can really do that. No human being can do something manual, that's mentally damaging, really. It's like when you think about, stimulation of neuroreceptor sites and shit, doing the same thing every day for 30 years is irreversible damage. You can't recover. This is the real reality in America, people. I mean, it is a living nightmare. It's everything you see coming out of the banker, mainstream music, mainstream movies, Netflix, all this. It's all very small group of people who have a very specific plan for America. And I'll give you the plan in 1 minute. The plan is to bring this like woke agenda on the world through the violence, force, and fraud of the United States military. You know what I mean? It's going to be the exact same thing like Israel. Like, we're good, and if you don't obey us, we'll kill you. We're woke, and if you don't obey us, we'll kill you. And, the Christians have been set up by Crowley as the enemy of the woke. And literally, spiritual, pagan, people like us who are like our ancestors literally could just stay out of it. And we will. Like, at the right time, I plan on taking, the people I love the most to somewhere safe, like Africa. And we pray every night that Africa prospers. And that we will somehow find where to go. I don't even know much about Africa. I do know that Shashamane, Ethiopia, that there is a Rastafarian community there. I don't know if I would be welcomed necessarily, but I don't know that I wouldn't be welcomed. I believe in Jah, and I believe that they may understand what I'm talking about. That Jah, and this is our only difference, Jah isn't God. Jah Rastafari, the Jah part of Jah Rastafari, you know what I'm talking about? Tafari Mackinnon. It's a pretty interesting name for let me tell you, it's a pretty, very Irish name for an ancient Ethiopian Jewish family. Because you know what? The whole entire thing, in its real essence, is a myth that came from the North Pole. And it was in Atlantis, but it survived Atlantis in Ireland. And it became the Mick and the Mac all around the world. Because it's like Mr. and Mrs., Like, universal. And those two people that did that are Lou and Donna. See, I don't know everything about how, the Matrix is a little different because they're the ones creating it. I do know this, that in their life, they lived a crazy life. And this is million years before the smaller man. This is at the end of the history of the larger man called the Giants, right? Lou was at the, like Maria, involved at the, epicenter of how the world ended the first time. But it didn't end permanently. It was revived. And I mean ended for man. And lots of animals. Most animals died too in the first when the Giants had the energy war, nuclear energy war, right? But not all animals died. And most of the animals we see are reintroduced by DNA and, recreating genetically. For real, they have this technology because it's a matrix, because it's technology, right? And it can be this authentic. And, but the first time they had these energy weapons, it just turned off the electricity of humans and animals. And it went insane and started dropping bombs on trees, on old trees, and it's just incredible, that the people would ever let all of our fates, our future, rest in the hands of people who are clearly mentally crazier than any of us ever will be. Look at Trump. I mean, just look at Trump. You're looking at a dude who smears on that fake tan shit. You know what I mean? What is going on here psychologically? And let me tell you what's going on here. The Process Church invented a branch of themselves called the Church of the Subgenius, with a parody of Christianity, with the Messiah as a door-to-door salesman, Bob Dobbs. Okay? So this used car salesman, like the movie Bean there, if people know that, how this butler, house servant becomes president of the United States. In this parody of Christian America, not just of the religion of Christianity, but particularly this suburban soccer mom, upper middle class, nice car, nice house, mom, dad, and the 2 kids, commercialized, created. It's called the Church of the Subgenius. This Messiah out of this door-to-door salesman, in the old days, 50s, 60s, and 70s, the people before the internet, they'd actually just go door-to-door to your house and knock on your fucking door. And, that's Trump. And the guy is just plastic as it can be, always wears a suit, always grooms himself up real nice. It's crazy. that they did this. This was written in the late 50s, early 60s. So, 65 years ago. 60 years ago, they prophesied Trump as the, Messiah of Christian America. This is where I said he was prophesied. The plan that the Q people were talking about. They were talking about the plan of the Church of the Subgenius, the plan of Bob Dobbs, McDonald's, Trump. If you can't see that as the truth, man, just fucking tune out. Because it's so in your face. It's so in your face, this casino, this hotel casino landlord guy is the Messiah. Make America Great Again. Which actually was Make America God Again. In this way, we control life and death with these weapons. All right, that's the commercial veneer. Here's the actual black magic. We control most of the world's life or death reality. We are making America God again, like we were one moment after we dropped the first nuclear bomb on those children. And the whole world said, America is fucked up. Hey, we all want to win a war or whatever. We want to win, 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 we want to win. Right? The whole world said, damn, these psychos just went after absolute, purely civilian targets with the most powerful bomb in the world, not once, but twice. That's your clown face. Okay, that's the black magicians who created that original scenario that became real in the real fucking world. Those very people, Aleister Crowley, McGregor, Mathis McGregor, whatever his name is. And in the Matrix, they continued it on with, Jack Parsons, L. Ron Hubbard, Manly P. Hall, and all that. And Maria was saying to me, maybe their Eris goddess is Big Blavatsky. Hey, big Blavatsky. Goddess of bullshit. And interestingly enough, this was all, I had a dream. When I very first started doing this, I had a crazy dream that I just remembered in the moment. It was kind of about two women I knew. And it's funny, in the dream I kind of confused them, even though it's impossible in the real world. And it was like we were at a party. And my friend said, what the hell's going on here? Look, there's literal jesters here. You know, he's like, what's this, some artsy shit? And it was like me and him were watching them, and they were like kind of like clowns, but they were absolute jesters with like the floppy hats and the whole like you know, playing card look. It was like they looked like they came off of playing cards of some kind. And they came in this like party, and me and my friend were like watching them, and they end up like, me and him are watching, and they're going like around to people talking to him, and they're like, my friend's like, yeah, don't you know her? You know, I'm like, yeah, and she was walking out with the two jesters, right? And me and my friend went to the door and looked outside, and she was like walking across the lawn, I guess, to the car of the jesters. And I was like, man, that just doesn't look right. It's just like, because I didn't know I was dreaming, of course. So me and my friend, I was just like, this just don't feel right. Who are these two jesters? You know, why would she be going with them? I'm thinking, you know. And yeah, that's almost like the reality of a lot of magic, is like, go with the jester. Right? And the church of the subgenius and, you know, McDonald Trump, they have the entire religion of Christianity, if I could talk, is parodied in their religion. It's very deep. And their miracles are the miracles of manifesting absurdism. And there's all kinds of them, like Bill Clinton. You know, they manifest in front of the whole world that the President of the United States was jacking off in the Oval Office and came all over this girl's dress. They had the dress to prove it. They had the phone records to prove it. And see, that was a magic spell to appeal to people's unconscious that that's a lot better than hurting people. Matter of fact, that's a beautiful thing if it's not hurting anyone. Instead, it's like, we're better. We don't jack off. And an hour later, they are, and they're saying, God, I repent. Oh, you know, I don't know why I can't only think of my wife. Or they're like, I'm not going to say it. Sorry. I don't want to. It's like I'm mad or something, angry. And I'm not really. I'm not really angry. I really have been, trying to understand this for a long time. And it took a long time to just gain the knowledge, the data about what real magic is and who's really doing it. Like, what we mean by real magic is things that actually affect reality. Like how did this one religion get so much control over people that don't even know anything about the religion? And basically, in America with Zionism, they've swore to kill the whole fucking world. The Christian Zionists are like, well, dude, we'll kill the whole world for the Jews. We don't give a fuck. And that is a manifestation of absurdism. To use all your money, your youth, your everything, your life for somebody else is dumb. For some other country is dumb. I would question it, even if it really was for America. I would probably say something like, listen, we're in an age of technology. Like, you don't have to wave a flag around and get all rah, rah, rah. All you have to do is absolutely stick to the Constitution, Declaration, Bill of Rights, and the amendments. Like the rights of man. And it doesn't really matter as long as everyone has rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Let them be. Live and let live. That was Washington. Jefferson was like, dude, if we make it that simple, it might work. And look, it worked for 200 years almost, or 150, whatever. It works. What works, Joe? If we would teach our children, our duty is to protect each other, not love each other. It don't matter if you love someone or not. If they're innocent, you are protecting yourself when you protect them. That's a fact in Maria's world. And she said that applies to magic on the astral world, too. For real. Who's the bad guy? Right? And into the Church of the Subgenius. These are all the same people, basically. But, and it's not like thousands of people. It's more like hundreds at the top. And then fewer and fewer as you get more centralized in power, where you, end up on Earth living. Robert de Grimston is like the real spiritual Christ figure. And the process church is bringing about the final judgment, right? And within the church, and not within, but merged with, is a separate group called the Discordians, right? And this group is smaller, and they're like also a wing of the process church, and you might say like a military division of the Church of the Subgenius. They're the people who are tasked to actually carry out in the physical the chaos and discord. That's why they're the Discordians. They sow the the seeds of discord in America and around the world. They've spread around the world now. They're the smiley face killers. And they are trained killers. They're trained like death squad killers. And they go to other countries and do it. This is a real fact. And I believe, as far as I know, I'm the first person, in this time of the Matrix to tie these people, to reveal who is doing it. The power behind the Rothschilds is very obvious. It's Crowley. Because he is 666 the beast. He was the chosen Messiah of the European, mainly British, Kabbalist Jews of the late 1700s who died, when Crowley was born or before he was born, and passed on this like 666 prophecy. And what it is, let me tell you, and not many people talk about this either. What it was, what at its essence is Crowley would introduce Kabbalistic black magic to the Gentiles. And that is also what Manly P. Hall and Big Blavatsky is doing. We're doing, or are doing. They're not. Nobody's dead. You understand that, right? Believe it. Those people weren't let. They're not back home on Venus. Who would want to be around these slime balls? And see, they're saying the exact same thing. A spiritual adventure that is won. They just flip it on its head. Like, we won. But in their winning, they revealed. They were willing. And this goes all the way down to the individual. They were willing to do evil to win. Right? That's what a lot of, this whole violent sports culture, it's all about who's willing, who desires to win the most. Who desires to win the most. We are saying exactly the same thing, except you're talking about a meaningless game, and we're talking about what's going to happen next after you die. Life that's coming up. Life that's going to be more permanent than now. And, true self forbid that we don't desire something. I mean, imagine how scary that is. Then you're dying, right? And the first thing that happened after I was being taught about the principle of discord, that's what these people believe in. It's a natural principle, like natural chaos of a tornado or, earthquake or anything. Harnessing that energy, putting it together with sex, magic energy, and everything else you can fucking imagine to bring about what they want. They want the whole world to go crazy. They want total chaos, and to sit back in some, drunken, what they call fun, stupor, and laugh at it. They're like, that is what life is, that these people in this matrix are are they are ours to play with. And again, I'll reference how this was being taught to me. I began one of my rituals. I was actually in the body of like a, I'll be conservative, say like 8, 9, 10-year-old girl. Very young, put it this way, very super, super young. A child. And as soon as all the energy of what was being, and she was being raped and tortured, she was actually being like waterboarded as she was being raped. It hurts me to say this, but this is what these people are initiated into. They're initiated to, oh man, I hate to even say it. God, it hurt my heart to hear those words in my head. But I know Maria's like, you have to though. They, oh my God, it's monstrous. But like Tracy Twyman, she was discovering these things written down. She was discovering them written down, nigga. And they are written down in your Kabbalah and other places in a sort of secret. But these people are initiated into, like, you can come to this highest magical black magic level where you will be in charge of thousands of ghosts, of spirit, people who are walking around in the matrix that can't be seen. You'll be in charge of them. You can tell them what to do. You can play with them, do anything you want with them. They're like, you must, God, it's terrible. You must, I don't even know how to say this. You must have an orgasm in a girl that you are murdering at the same time that you're having sex with her. You're killing her for real. And if like that excites your essence, you can come to this level of like those black hooded priests that I seen. That's the level they went to. They are like, I'll do anything. They're psycho completely. They tell the person they have to do that, and they say, bring her in here, I'm ready. And I was doing this. I mean, this was being done to me. And when I realized it, I flipped out of my body. Like 5 feet away from, the whole scene. And this was really being done in this world. And see, they were doing some kind of synthetic drugs or whatever too, while they're raping and killing this girl. So when I flipped out of my body, I seen his astral self standing right there. And he looked at me and goes, oh my God, you were in her? That's exactly what he said to me. Oh my God, you were in. I mean, he was so pissed. He started jumping up and down, like trying to hit me. I'm like, you can't hit me. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, this is my fantasy. This is my fantasy. Look, do you get the clue there? These people tell themselves. This is what they train the person to say. When you're raping and killing her, act like it's not real. Just say to yourself, this is my fantasy. This is my fantasy. This is how bad your enemy is. And you give them a pass. Shame on you. And me and him ensued in like a, what I would call a true spiritual battle, like a mind war. And he was furious, saying, this is my fantasy. How dare you? You're the one breaking spiritual law. Like, you're not allowed to invade my fantasy. And that's when I realized, like, wow, I'm dealing with a crazy person. I go, that's exactly right. Your fantasy is to harm little girls, and that gets you off? I said, exactly. That's all I needed. That's the whole reason. I was like, it's over. She's out of her body. I was in her body because she's been out of her body. I was like, you weren't fucking her. You were fucking me, you dumb fucking retard. And he's like, we'll kill you. You'll die. Who are you? Who are you? Like, I was like, I know who you are. You're evil. You're evil. You would harm a child. I mean, it is a wild world, right? You are straight up being tested unconsciously. Look, those people are taught God is Satan. These are just principles that nature might kill you or it might bless you. That's all it's based on. And they're like, okay, that's nature. Let's get down to real life. Who's got the money? Who's got the pussy? This is your straight up Church of the Subgenius Discordian president. President McDonald Trump. Ronald McDonald Trump. I wish I was sane. I really do. I wish I was saying, man, we got to come together and save America. That was before April 20th, 2024. Okay? After that, there is no America. We got to come together and leave America. That's like the main reason of the podcast. And like she said, we need to find people who want to go to somewhere where it's clean and natural and invest our money, our lives into bringing the culture of the rights of man, the freedom of man, and that's it. We want freedom of religion for everyone. We don't want people to become our religion. We want to live and let live like our ancestors did. And we want, the government to make no law against free speech. We want to forbid the government from ever making a law against speech. I mean, if you're evil enough to walk into a movie theater and yell fire, you should be free to. And if everyone there beats your fucking ass, someone dies, may there be justice on you, nigga. But, that's 1 out of 10 million people that would do that. And we want to sell out our rights and give away everything to a class of religious people that are obviously preying on us. I mean, they're preying on us, 42% tax. And people in Europe is like, yeah, we pay that much, but we get free health care. We get, for life, free health care for life, the same as anyone else would have. Everyone's treated the same. And they're like, we get, this retirement and, this and that. And in America, we're like, we get nothing. And they're like, yeah, we can retire at 58, 60. In America, they're like, we're trying to get it to 67. This is how sick this fucking place is. A sick person. It's like a representation of a sick person. And the people who could do anything about it are like, dude, I work too much. I have no energy. In the whole Trump sector of young men are like, yeah, dude, I know. I go to the gym every day. I mean, it's all about lifting weights. You're like, what? You're like, yeah, I hate those Palestinian protesters, man. You know, I support Israel. Like, oh my God, do you understand? You're a fucking dork. Like, you're out here saying you support genocide. It doesn't really matter who it was, you know. It could be like one of the most undesirable groups ever. If people were like, hey, you know what? We're going to line up these Mormon kids and drop bombs on them. My first thought is, because you're evil. That's why. They're children, you fucking retard. It's not their fault. They've been brainwashed. Right? The jesters. See, there's the end of one of Alan Moore's books, who is very much a script writer for the magic being done behind reality that manifests the absurd. Those two jesters, Maria's saying right now, come from that book. And they have planned the detonation of every giant building, every skyscraper in New York City, except theirs. Or maybe it is even theirs. The like Samson option. Oh, well, we'll kill everybody. If we're not going to win, we'll kill everybody. That's their mentality. That's their morality. Right? And as all the buildings are going down, they start laughing. And, I can't remember if it was just me or if they say it. Somewhere it said like a cosmic joke. A cosmic prank. I am totally serious. He's telling you the exact truth. Their real motivation and reasoning of doing this is a prank between each other. An inside joke to each other of like, hey, only we know why, 6 million people died in Afghanistan, Iraq, and everywhere else, only winking at each other, like, yeah, we know the real reason. And this book is a movie, shows them destroying the whole world. Okay, now check this out. Then it switches to like other cities, and all the skyscrapers around the world are just collapsing, one after another, after another, after another. And then you start to realize, like, holy shit, only theirs is going to remain standing in the whole world. This is the real great reset. You know what I mean? I'm serious. They're playing with people of like, oh, you thought COVID's like the little harmless baby compared to what we're about to release on you. And don't forget, Ronald McDonald Trump tried to blame China for what he absolutely, as the President of the United States, He absolutely knew for a fact it came from a DARPA Defense Agency research and development laboratory that you as a taxpayer, you paid for COVID to be made and kill your grandparents. And I know all the people's like, it's not real. Well, something was real and killed people. In the Bible, it says angels are pouring out vials of diseases and shit. Clearly, this was that they created this low-level weapon that killed old people. Like, no one's going to tell me that there was nothing, because I had 600 and something customers at the time. I watched the oldest ones all die within a few months. Right after they got the vaccine. So if it was the vaccine that gave it to them, something. And now it's permanently in the, biosphere. I mean, who would say that things are getting better? I mean, people with immune problems, allergies and shit, things are getting worse every day. As the good old boy Americans just keep growing the GMO crops. Right? And the clown show. So you understand? They're putting out in the media that all your analysts and political pundits and commentators and shit, they are all out there. They don't know it, of course, because they think they're reporting on reality. But they're the ones out there reinforcing the subgenius Discordian show. You know what I mean? They're the ones saying to you, I told you Trump was a make-a-face clown. You know, buying all into the literal. They're literally telling us this, out of control reality TV star is going to kill us all because he's worried about how he looks to the world, his own personal ego image, his own personal opinion of himself is that he's so great and shit that that the whole world's going to like whatever he does. That's the fake ass image that they created and is putting out as a Discordian subgenius messiah in the likes of Bob Dobbs, Church of the Subgenius. Check it out. But we started out by talking about a battle with what seems to be a bad outcome. Isn't what it looks like. It's really a spiritual adventure. Because why? You're in a simulation. And all in all, when it's over as it is, something so valuable will have been gained that you will say, like the girl with the tulip said to me, it all comes true. The deep spiritual meaning that we planned before we came here, it all did really come true. We really were who we thought we were. Even though the world barely gives you a chance, which is the real truth. And I probably should start every podcast by saying, from the very moment I made my very first comment in March of 2020. Things have been weird with YouTube. Everything I really said true about Maria on other videos, on other people's video, a line would just appear as I uploaded the comment, crossing out the part that was true, that was not known. This happened, I want to say 3 times, but 2 times for sure. That I can't remember everything. I don't leave comments because I don't like it. I don't like what's going on. And absolutely for sure, I'm not kidding. The very first comment I ever left on YouTube, as I hit upload, and a comment from the YouTube administrator it didn't look like it was written by a computer bot, addressed me personally, said, "Joe, you're killing your grandparents," by saying we should question whether, the government's telling us the truth about COVID. Am I kidding you? Instantaneously, this comment appeared directly. Okay. And then and then 3 years later, I start, posting videos on my channel. And the very first thing I start hearing from people that I know personally is, if I leave a comment, it doesn't show up. If I hit the like button, it doesn't work. It won't let me hit the like button. I had a lot of people tell me that no matter how what I do, it won't let me like your video. And then in May of 2024, I heard from, and I heard from people in private messages that emailed me privately saying, why are you deleting my comments? Are you deleting my comments, and why? And I was like, I've never seen any of your comments. No, I'm not. I would never. If not. Why? It doesn't make any sense that why would I be deleting good comments? So I have this girl set up a time to talk to me, and one of the first things she says is why'd you delete my comments? I'm like, what comment? I never seen a comment from you. And she's like, yeah, I left you a comment saying are you willing to come on a podcast to talk or something? I'm like, I never seen it. She's like, I left more than one, I never appeared ever. And I was taunted by YouTube. I have a video, it's called, let me think of what it's called. Something about, it's Hitler was not a racist or something. Not the song, but the video. And this is where YouTube was taunting me. So in my notifications for the channel, I see this comment saying this is amazing. No, I've never seen this quote from Hitler that I read on the podcast, and thank you, and this is really amazing that they can lie to us this much. And this was the end of his life, that he was saying, I've never been a racist. Stop believing these goddamn liars and what they say about us. All they do is lie. We thought you could figure out by their track record that all they do is lie. Why would you believe the biggest lie? Oh yeah, that what? Germans are inherently evil and want to put people in ovens. Man, shut the fuck up. I'm part German. And so I seen the comment, in the notifications. And in the notifications, you can reply. So I replied to him, and I go on to the video to make sure it's really there. Nope, it's not. I go on the notifications, it's there. He commented, I replied, I go on the video, it don't exist, it's not there. I stopped going on my Facebook because the last couple of times I went on, I was like, the very, very, very first page was fake. It was weird, absurd shit. And if I scrolled down, then it became my real Facebook. But it was when I logged in, it was some fake page. The timeline. It began with fake shit. It was crazy. And I don't know if I've ever told this story, but so, like I said, I was literally sitting and waiting with Maria on January 6th to see what Trump and the Patriots were going to do. I mean, they're the ones that were saying, this is it. This is the battle for America. And they were completely right. And I already knew. Maria already told me Trump's a fucking chump. He's not going to do it. I was hoping the people would do it. You know what I mean? I was hoping the people would take over the Capitol and just divide the country up and say, listen, we're going to have two different Americas. We need a realignment now. Of course, that didn't happen because the money always wins. And, okay, check this out. So, on January 7th, the next day, I'm out. I got two, wireless devices. I got, my regular phone. But I got my iPod, which, is internet. It connects to the internet. Okay, so I'm out, and you tell me if this wasn't supernatural. So I'm delivering, and once in a while, I go by someone's house, and my iPod was, automatically trying to connect to their Wi-Fi. Every once in a while. It wasn't usual. And just out of the blue. It's on January 7th. And the whole country is up in arms about the insurrection, which was really a test of the Patriots of what are you going to do about it? Are you really going to insurrect? Or are you really going to just give the country away to the bankers? Well, the money always wins, right? Evil always wins. Evil always prevails in this world. And for no reason, I just picked up my iPod, which I guess was wirelessly playing through the speaker. And I just picked it up for some reason. I guess maybe the change or something, but I had actually pulled all the way over. It was a very strange place to be because it wasn't near the houses where it usually says connecting, to, Jim and Pam's Wi-Fi or whatever. And I look at my thing and I rub my eyes and said, am I dreaming? On my iPod, it said, trying to connect to FBI surveillance network. And I'm like, what the hell? I've never posted a video. I've never recorded a video. I have no internet presence whatsoever. No, I have no followers of any kind. I have 200 Facebook friends from high school. You know, FBI surveillance network. And ain't no chance in hells that I believe that it some freak accident. No, it wasn't a freak accident. Because my whole life I've been targeted and people are just like, you're crazy. It's just a mantra, you know. It's like, shut up. Who cares? I don't care that you think I'm crazy. You're crazy for thinking I'm crazy. You're crazy for not believing that there are people that are this evil. That's a basic thing. And they're this evil because they're stuck here in the Matrix. They're fucking ghosts or they're black magicians stuck in the inner earth. The bad part of it, we would say. And that's just goddamn facts. I wish it wasn't either, you know, but also you have to realize the reality of a retarded God that forgives murderers and shit. That's not good either. The other side that you present, and you're like, man, just be happy Jesus is coming. Oh, why? Because he's going to slaughter innocent people, and he's not going to bring justice to anybody because let's just say it is true. Read the book of Revelation. That's not good news. Motherfucking wars and rumors of wars, famine, disease, and war kills 3/4 of the whole earth because of Jesus, right? Prince of Peace, right? Oh, Jesus is good. He died for our sins. The grace of God. I know as people get killed by firebombs, but not you, right? White Christian. Fuck you. You're just boring. You know, if you weren't so boring, maybe I'd try to help you. But you're not getting my help. You're going to get my judgment. And if you're just doing it because you're scared, you better stop now. And like Maria, I can hear Maria saying, Joe, most of the masses are doing it because they're scared. And I just, I'll just say, it's real. I'm mad because I went through stages of sympathy. I do feel sorry for you. I don't know what else to say. But it's not true. You've got to stand up. It's got you morally compromised. You're sitting there saying, man, our God's so great, he'll forgive murderers. That's not good. That's evil. What about the victim? And we just want to also make known that the knowledge, flowing from the Missouri River, Goddess, is for your healing. It's the healing waters of the Missouri River. It's the power from the source of the Missouri River. It's the depth that goes deep. Where does it go? One time Maria brought me, she was like, I'm the water goddess. She's like, are you afraid to drown in me? Are you afraid to drown in my love? I will drown you in my love if you'll let me. And she's like, don't worry, you'll be able to breathe. And I was like, are we in outer space? And she said, no. She said, believe it or not, Joe, the earth is so big and the continents shift and move with the water. She said, believe it or not, we're not in outer space. were under the continent of America. She said there's about 20,000 feet of water coming from the center of the earth. She's like, Joe, do you realize the simulation's that sophisticated? This is how nature is. You know what else is a miracle? I was like, what? She's like, water. I'm the water goddess. I'm the water goddess. Where does the water come from? It fills up this reservoir. And what truly is crazy is, how no matter what, these people are disciplined to go by this script. And discipline to manifest absurdism. They view that as some real power and control over you. Because, last night, in this sort of mind battle with these satanic priests, the mask under the mask, they were like, no, we don't want to physically hurt you because there's nothing you can do. You're powerless. It's like they wanted to mentally torment me, they were saying. And they're like, there's nothing you can do to stop what we're doing because we're not doing it for any meaningful reason. There's no meaning behind why we're ending the world. It's not for money. It's not for power. It's just for the kicks of it, the laughs of it. For shits and giggles, he said. I'm not kidding. He really did say that to me. And, all of a sudden, as they were saying, like, we're doing our magic on you now, like, you're going to lose your mind. Everything got very chaotic, and I kind of knew Maria had sort of trained me, like, you just have to endure this kind of shit. And everything became very chaotic. So much so that I told Maria, I said, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I don't know how much more of it I can take. Because I know that I can just flip out of my astral body back home. It's, you become aware of, like, hold on, man. Like, when they were threatening to hurt me, like, that's when I became aware of, like, dude, you can't hurt me on this plane. They're like, mentally we can. Like, okay, Marilyn Manson. Like, shut up, I'm not scared, but do whatever you gotta do. And it was really, really hardcore, like, trying to taunt me, like, we're the ones that are bringing all the discord in your family and, everything. All this, like, fighting over small shit and, I was like, but it all works together because it's it's helping me, giving me the time to do the real work that I had to do to get out of here. Like, I hate to say it, but maybe we'll end on this. There will come a time when you have to decide, like, if you're going to get out of here or sacrifice your life for people who might not even be real. You might not really love them as much. You should take advice kind of from older people to say, things change. To everything turn. Things change. There's cycles. Like my advice would be, don't sacrifice yourself to anything or anyone. Period. Ever. But if you are willing, like I'm not saying I did that. It was naturally let me tell you, the Thelema OTO Golden Dawn structure is like opposite of me and Maria's essence spirit. We don't like these people. They're like country club, old money, rich people. Maria was not like that. Like she said, if I was, kind of Miguel Serrano kind of was born into that. Like she said, what would I have done? Well, exactly the same thing I do. Dance. Like I didn't want to be rich. I wanted to dance. And I was willing to pay the price to dance. And like she said, I would have even waited tables if I could have done it. She said it wasn't my long-term plan, but before I lost my, opportunity to teach dance, I was willing, to almost do anything. She's like, but for expensive name brand things, I'm willing to do nothing. Like I'm not going to buy into that world. Yeah. Maria is one interesting dresser. She does dress very well. Lately, she's been very dancer, workout. She just said, what about my nice dresses? Yeah, you do have some great, awesome dresses. But never, ever once have I thought of it as gaudy in any way, or it's of the most... Maria looks like she's like a 20-year-old college girl, even though she's 30 million, she said. But because she looks like a 20-year-old college girl, I always, I think a lot of times of like, man, dude, that is an original look for a young girl, like, I'm trying to give her a compliment. Like, there's something very maturely magic about her clothes. The first thought I get is she put thought into it. There's some days I ask my true self, like, because there's colors. Certainly, I really believe this. There's sort of colors that kind of more harmonize with the day. If you're this blessed to have this many different colored clothes, which I don't know, maybe I have a problem, But I also work 6 days a week and had to wear something, every day, or 6 days. But I felt that. I don't know if it's just a, internal, intuitional response to something. But I would feel like today I'm supposed to wear this color if I had it available. And I feel like I'm saying that because I feel like that's how Maria is. Somehow it's very appropriate all the time, or it's very harmonizing. Is that yeah? That's a good word. So let's end on this. So how can a battle which has a battle which does not end well. What that is, a battle that does not end well. We think it's something bad, right? A battle that doesn't end well. What it really is, it's a spiritual adventure because you're in a simulation. It's not only a spiritual adventure, but it is truly a spiritual adventure that has been successful.
In a world where shadows fall, the creed takes hold, it's hard to call. Little Sita, hear the cries, mother's wisdom, it never dies. Baby, little Sita, rise up in night, together push back, ignite the night. No more suffering, break the chains, we'll shout truth, fuse the pains. Behind their smiles, they steal away. Innocent souls cutting their blade. Bankers dance on the broken dreams, but in our hearts we spark the flame. Freedom calls out from the dark, we will ignite, we'll leave a mark. In every heart, let hope her take flight. Eternal vigilance, gods arise.